And I think we're live, or we're about to go live. Hey, everybody. Hey, thank you for joining, or thank you for watching the video. Thank you so much for jumping on this Facebook Live if you're live with me right now. In this video, I want to talk about the tips, the techniques, the strategies, the hacks, if you want to call them, to overcome your webinar woes. And if you're not sure what a webinar is, I'm going to cover that in the video. So definitely listen to the end for some of these tips and techniques. And again, if you're not familiar with what a webinar is, you can definitely listen out for that. I'm going to explain that in in a few seconds. So let's go through a little bit of a backstory. I'm going to give you a little bit of a case study with a client that came through to me who wanted to generate some business online. She had put together a Thinkific course, something that she felt was going to revolutionize or at least help occupational therapists with their online business, or at least help get their business online. As you know, we're sitting in COVID times with the pandemic still sort of raving its ugly head. And so she came to me with the vision of helping other occupational therapists, whether they be students or whether they be business owners, other OT private practices, or just people who wanted to get started and transition, or even practices who were mostly physical. So people relying on walk-in business, people walking to the therapy center, to their practice, to actually consult and get their kids sort of the help they needed. And so with COVID coming around, a lot of these businesses had to shut down, obviously because of lockdowns and stuff. But then they had to transition into sort of the online space, or they had to figure out how to get these online tools, or how to get some of the stuff going so that they can actually continue their business and basically keep their employees employed, and just generally keep things going. And so she came to me with this vision of, like, she wanted to build a course, she wanted to put this course out there. And so I helped her to create this course, to structure the course, get the videos recorded, all of that. But then, like any other course creator or like any business owner who's starting something online, the most important thing, and this is true for offline business as well, is marketing. Because the next question, once everything was built, was, well, how do we actually sell the course? Like, how do we get people to come through, see that the course is available? So how do we get those people? And there's a lot of different techniques to do this, but what I focused with her on was webinars. And I'll go into sort of some of the reasons for the webinar. But basically, when you put a webinar together, you're not, like, the traditional model of selling is to going one-on-one, either knocking on doors or sending emails to people one by one, or chatting to people on Facebook one by one, or meeting people in the street one by one, or maybe you're at a fair, or maybe you're at the market, or maybe you're in the supermarket and somebody asks, hey, what do you do? Da, 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 and so you get into conversation one-on-one. So this is you interacting with one person at a time. Tools like Zoom, tools like GoToMeeting, tools like Easy Webinar, any webinar platform, Webinar Jam maybe, they allow and they facilitate for a one-to-many group situation. And so webinars are specifically designed, one, to generate leads, which every business needs to have a system or the process to generate some leads. And two, it allows you to actually get people into a room, into a private session with you, where they can chat, where they can interact with you, where you can present, and where you can talk about some of the challenges, some of the problems, some of the issues that are going on, and helping them to solve some of those challenges in the webinar, but then inviting them to join a paid program, or to buy a book, or to sell them into a coaching program, or whatever the thing is that you've got, right? Bless me, excuse me. So when it comes to that model of actually inviting people to your webinar and trying to make a sale on the webinar, it's no different to having a seminar or having people in a room where you're actually presenting to them live. The only difference is, obviously, people are at home, people are doing their thing, and so you're asking them to join them on a virtual, through their computer or through their phone, to listen to you. So very similar to like a YouTube live video or a Facebook live, like I'm doing right now. But the difference with the webinar is they are registering to attend. And the software that we use can track their registrations. We have that list of people who have registered, we have the list of people who attended, we have the list of people who didn't attend, and we get to use the software to send them a replay. So that's that's an interesting, so that's a really good benefit. That's one of the techniques, or that's one of the methods to using software to help you facilitate the sales process. And then what I did with this particular client was I helped her set up her webinar funnel, which is actually a sales funnel for webinars. So people register for the webinar, they attend, and in the webinar itself, we give them links to buy, to go to an order form to actually purchase her program. And it's done fairly well. It's done well. Well, she's on track to do six figures for the next 6 months or 12 months, and we've generated about $25,000 to $30,000 just through this process, working together for the last 3 months, 3 or 4 months. And so, that's a little bit of a backstory. And so, if you're sitting there thinking, and you're watching this video and you're wondering, well, you've got a few objections, or you've got a few factors that you may be struggling with internally, and you may be thinking, well, webinars are intimidating, like going live to an audience is intimidating. You may have a thing of, well, what if nobody shows up, and what if you're presenting to nobody? Like, what is the situation then? How does that feel for you? Will you feel like a failure if that happened? And then obviously the struggles of like getting the technical stuff set up, like what software do you use? The software sometimes is expensive, or you're just not sure how to navigate online to choose the right thing. You don't know where to get support. Those are all real struggles that people go through when starting on this journey, especially online. And so, with COVID being around, COVID has forced a lot of us to do this online thing. And for me, I've been working online for the last six years already, and so generating leads and getting referrals and getting onto Zoom calls, or doing webinars or doing Facebook Lives. It's been a process for me to work through those challenges and to really like get into my element of, well, how do I navigate this stuff? And then there's imposter syndrome that comes up because, oh, you're feeling that you're not good enough, or like you have nothing to speak about, or what do I teach? What topics do I talk about? Like, these are real challenges that people have, and I've definitely gone through them. This was a stumbling block for me as well. And getting started is difficult, and that's why I'm starting to make these videos and publishing on YouTube and publishing on podcast to try to help and get a lot of this information out there. And so for me, and also for this client, one of the epiphany moments, or one of the opportunities that came up was, well, she asked for the support. She was open enough to me to say, well, hey, I really don't know how to get all this done. I don't have the time to get all of it done myself. I know she knew what she wanted from it. She knew that she had a good course and a good program to teach, and she has been teaching for a long time to guide people. And she just needed to figure out the technical stuff, what tools to use, and I helped her, and I helped guide her through that process. And my epiphany for this whole thing was, well, if a lot of people are struggling with this stuff, then I need to be making YouTube videos. I need to be making content. I need to be speaking with my clients openly about what works and what doesn't work. And from working with over 100 clients over the last few years, I've gone through the process multiple times. And so she's leveraged, this particular client anyway, has leveraged my expertise and my experience to generate that income that she's been able to generate, and to help more people through her business. And so that's been my plan, is to create a system, a process to generate leads, to help with the webinar content itself, to help with setting up the sales process for how to actually generate those, well, one, to generate the leads, two, to how to sell the products or the services or the courses that you have on the back end. And then, of course, even with having everything set up and having all of it go through, you still have those doubts, and you still have those conflicts in your mind of, well, what if I'm not good enough? What if nobody shows up? Those challenges or those things don't actually go away. I was watching a video a couple months ago about where Will Smith was actually talking about, even as a high-paid actor, even as an actor who's made hundreds of movies by now, he says that he still had butterflies when he walked on stage, or when he was in front of the camera on the first day of shooting, or when there was a very critical scene that he needed to get done, and to nail basically, and he still had sort of butterflies, and that for me, for that for me shows that we're all human. Like, just because Will Smith or other actors have had so much of experience, and they make it look so seamless, and they make it look so easy to do their Facebook lives, to promote themselves, to show up on interviews, to actually have the videos recorded, and to actually retake the scenes, to like go through the process, and be fit and keep mentally stable and do all of these things, they still have these thoughts and these doubts that creep in. But what they're doing is they're fighting through those doubts, they're fighting through those challenges in their own mind. And I think that's one of the most important things is, if you ever have a sense of achievement, if you set yourself up for success in a way that shows that, well, going live on Facebook Live, or going live on YouTube or on Instagram or any of these platforms, you're scared of doing that. Like, that's the only thing that you need to do to practice to get better. That's the thing you should be doing, right? If you want to promote your programs through a webinar, the way to do that is to actually switch on the webinar, get people to register, and even if nobody shows up, just go through the process, because at the end of the day, you're producing content and you're practicing, right? When you want to become a wrestler, or you want to learn karate, or you want to learn to be a good chef, or you're becoming a doctor, it takes hours and hours and hours of practice. If you're a gamer and you're wanting to master a game like Fortnite or anything that's competitive online these days, you've got to put in the hours, you've got to put in the time, you've got to put in the effort. And so for me, these YouTube videos are all about that as well. Is while I'm trying to provide value to you, I'm also practicing to go live in front of the camera, right? Because I am going to be doing webinars soon. I'm going to be promoting my products through a funnel, just the way that I'm building for my clients. And showing up and being confident on camera is important, but it's not the ultimate thing that you need to be successful online. You just need a bit of confidence and a little bit of a story and a little bit of a preparation to actually get these things going. You need maybe a little bit of support. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need just a friend to support you through. You need a spouse maybe to encourage you. You maybe need an influencer online, like maybe latch onto Gary Vee, or latch onto some of the big influencers who are doing the work, who are teaching, who are giving away free value. Maybe follow my channel, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow my podcast. Like, if you want to learn and really understand and take the time to actually develop yourself, then these are the resources, the free resources you have and free resources you can latch onto, people that you can interact with to learn and to grow and to really understand, and then put in the work. Like, get things done. Like, go live, do the thing, do the work. And so for me, that's basically the whole thing. And if I had to give you 3 things, is one, go live, start talking about stuff, start talking about your content, start developing yourself online, learn, take lesson from your own experiences and from what you're doing online. 2 is the third point then is build a system for yourself that creates success, right? For content for myself, I have a calendar. I have ideas of things that I want to talk about. This video, I came up with the topic like 10 minutes before the video, but I knew that I wanted to show myself as an expert today. And so that's why I'm talking about webinars, is because I had this almost pre-planned, like 30-40% of the video was already pre-planned before I actually came up with the title. I know what to speak about, and that's why, and I've got the experience. But if you don't have the experience, you can go off of what other people are saying. You can go research a topic. You can go listen to a YouTube video or research for multiple YouTube videos or influences of what people have said about a certain thing. Like, getting started is not as hard as what you think. If you have a system, if you have a process to put everything together for yourself, to make it easy for you to win, to succeed, then it's definitely a step in the right direction. So with that being said, if you're listening to this on the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. I really appreciate that. If you're watching on Facebook Live, definitely follow the channel, follow my page. Send me a message if you're curious, if you're interested. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all of the things. Comment below and let me know, have you tried webinars before? What has been your success rate with doing webinars? Ask me questions in the comments, like how can I help and how can I serve you? That's why I'm doing these videos, and that's why I am putting myself out there and overcoming my own fears, my own butterflies, and just getting as much value as I can out there. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.